face going.
Get the frowny face going.
My Hutch Homestead face.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I just now actually got to see the picture that I posted as the thumbnail. It didn't turn out quite like I anticipated or expected it to.
Looked good. Looked like a
So,
storm rolling in, bro.
yeah, so do you remember any of that weather? What was that, last August? I think it was. Yeah, this last August.
I like to take pictures and document weatherhead. Storm fronts rolling in. We got some good views here, man.
Yeah, I was at work that day. That's why there was some like big rigs down at the very bottom. I was at work and it was just crazy layers of this black and white. It looked fake. And when I took the picture I sent it to my wife. I was like, man, ain't nobody going to believe this because it looks fake. But yeah, it was real storm clouds rolling through there. Apparently it was all over that Kansas that particular day or whatever. But
yep. Hey, and freaking tornado season's coming up, bud. So that's something we need to kind of keep in the back of our mind because that season's rolling up on us too. So if the weather's going to be anything like it has been, very extreme in different areas. So are we live?
That is true. That is very true. We might get some crazy ass tornadoes this year. Are we supposed to stay out there and film them though? Because that's what I feel obligated to do because we like.
No, you're not. You're not supposed to just film them. You're supposed to get your barbecue going, crack a beer, and film it. That's what Kansans do.
See, yeah, and we get such a good view out to the west of here. It's kind of hard sometimes not to want to go out and watch because you can just see everything for such a long time. And what was it? That one year it was just straight north of the tree row. The weather, it changed real drastically, and we're like, "What the hell? It's kind of weird." We walked outside the tree row there, and you can see it pretty. You can definitely tell it's a tornado, and that's probably a good 100 yards back to the house. And I thought, man, I ain't as fast as I used to be. We better go ahead and get back over a little closer to the house.
Man. You sit in the wide open, where it seems like that convergence line of the storms where the hot and cold meet together is kind of tends to favor itself to the center of the state. I've noticed lately, kind of as the patterns are shifting a little eastern, but it stays kind of right there at a northeastern track, when these convergence lines hit, and you look like you're right about there in that spot. But
they say we're in Tornado Alley, and it feels like a lot of times we've seen the fair share of them. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Some are a little bit more eerie or whatever the hell it is, and some of them are a lot more scary than others. But
yeah.
So what's up to a few people here. We got Native. What's going on, boss? Northern Girl Hobbies. Sorry. K Marie. What's up, everybody? Thanks for hopping over here. Nisi Tribe. Dangerous Freedom.
How's it going, folks? Those are some good names. I like those people. I like reading their comments in the chats, and everybody else I watch. They're all funny. They're all got good hearts on them, and I definitely enjoy this crowd.
Oh yeah.
I can't see the chat, so is there any way that I could see the chat on my phone, or has that been kind of?
Man, you're kind of asking the wrong guy here, man. Mine just kind of pops up on accident now, but I think shoot, man, I don't want to lie to you, but you should be able to hit just the live chat thing on there, I would think, man. But I don't know.
I see a chat, but I think it's only StreamYard chat. But I'm not going to concern myself too much with that. But I thank everybody who shows up, and I'll thank them again later.
Right. Yeah. I could try to help you see who all was in here. We got Mrs. and Mr. Prepping Plumber in here as well. So
yeah, kind of freestyling it. So people have questions or whatever. We were kind of talking about the tornadoes, and it wasn't last year. It was the year before, I believe, the one that hit just south of Lawrence. And I was able to go up to a lake that's up there, Lone Star Lake, and basically the drive up there takes you through a section that this tornado had cut a path through, and I had never seen devastation like that, because I mean, there's tornadoes up in southeastern Washington are unheard of. We get gale force winds, but it's just straight line wind. It can get up to, like, 60, 70 mile an hour gusts, 80 mile an hour gusts, and but to see a path cut by something, that is, I mean, that is some serious power, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, it is. Hey, prepping outside the box, Josh. What's going on, man? Yeah. So speaking of cutting a path and then seeing that, we had one that touched down a mile away from the house, and so there's kind of an interesting story behind that one, because I had an idiot friend of mine that got stuck out in the field and called me, and I couldn't hardly see nothing. I had to go out there and get him out of his pickup because the tornado was coming across that path, and we got him back to the house or whatever. And you could follow it from here to a little town right outside of us to Salina. I'm sure you know where Salina is.
I've heard of it. Never been there, but I've heard of it.
Okay, that's an hour. That's an hour away from me, and you could follow this path, this tornado, an hour driving 65, 70 mile an hour, and you can follow this path of this tornado all the way from my house to that town. So it was extremely impressive, and yeah, it was just a mangled mess of everything all over the damn place. Crazy.
Yeah, those when you see this was funny because I started following the Storm Chasers. There was a Facebook group, so I started following them, and when they'd come up during the season, and they would start a live stream on Facebook. Well, someone's like, when you see these cats roll into town, you should be leaving town.
Yeah.
Dude, those trucks are sweet, man. I like to have.
Yeah, so that's a shitty feeling too. I was coming home one night. Like I said, we live right in Tornado Alley, basically. I was coming home one night, and there they are, just boom, 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 rolling down the road. I'm like, kidding me? Right by my house? Good damn it, really?
Yeah. Hey, but those guys, they got some nuts, man. They got some
yeah,
because they help with the warning, getting the warning out there. They're just a group of Joes that are chasing that stuff to get the word out ahead of people.
Yeah.
So,
and they get some really good footage, and they get you a lot of really good information just straight out the gate. They got an interesting job, that's for damn sure. I can't say I wouldn't want to be in their place, because growing up in Kansas, living in Kansas, you kind of tend to try to merge toward the tornadoes anyways, to try to get a nice little view of them anyway. But man, their job kind of would suck. Hey, Prepper Tribe and Patriot 3%er, what's up, fellas? And sorry if I keep interrupting you, just to say that, what's up every once in a while.
You're hosting this show, man. You take over anytime, man.
So talk about crazy weather. How's this weather been treating you? Lately, how's this particular weather that's really odd for Kansas been treating you?
Well, we're day 2 that the hard freeze is over.
Yeah.
It's been running me ragged at work, let me tell you, man.
Yeah. I hear you there.
I've got tons of overtime that it's not the most ideal overtime. You're having to shut water off, and they have so many questions they have that and sometimes I can't answer because my abilities stop like at their meter. From right after the meter to there, that's where all of my work on that has to stop. So what I do is I crack their side to make sure the meter isn't frozen, and then I tighten it back up. I'll put some heat down in there with the torch, and then we have inserts. They're big foam inserts to kind of trap some of that heat in, and I'll cover it up with snow to kind of again protect their meter, because they're only 16 inches. I think that's they're only 16 inches deep, the top of the meter, and that's the highest they can be up. So we have them real deep to where you got to get down in there. But other than that, all I can say is you get some heat in your crawl space, add some extra insulation, try to find a way to keep your water dripping. And I'll tell them everybody, the water dripping. You know, let the water, let it expand somewhere if it is frozen, because if you got it dripping, it freezes while it's dripping, it at least has somewhere to go. You know, that way it's not frozen, and you know it might not be ruptured, but wait till that's out, and then you have a 90-degree elbow somewhere that's been busted out.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I always tell them go to the store, get some extra water, go get some snow, thaw it, and pour it in your melt it and pour it in your stool, so you can flush it.
Right.
You can, there's some things you can do that way. So anyway, it's been rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
A couple water main breaks, but I anticipate more as the ground starts thawing and moving, because we're all clay here, man. We got there's a lot of black dirt where the land used to be farmed around here, but for the most part, there's a lot of clay. There's like 2 feet of clay, and a lot of the foundations are sitting on. We're coming from a drought, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So we're coming from a drought, which dried up this clay, which pulled away from foundations. Then we get all this rain and water and snow that melts against the side of the house, so that clay is just going like this against the foundation, pushing things and pushing pipes. So we got some problems coming, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, I guess, didn't really understand with the freezing and stuff. They're like, "Well, I don't have no problems." You know, we were talking about, well, so and so has their pipes frozen and everything. Yeah, that's about the worst. And I'm like, yeah, it's not necessarily when the pipes freeze that's the major problem. It's when it starts thawing out. When everything starts to give up and get out of the way, because that's when you see, oh shit, my pipe broke or whatever, and it's just flowing on the ground now at this point, and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And we got to be ready to have our game face on when that time comes around, because you're cutting off, like, this is a really old place I'm living in, the infrastructure. So some of the valves that we have to shut can cut off 3 blocks worth of customers, and that right there, you got to find it.
Right.
With the ground being frozen, you could have a water leak coming up from the actual location 2 blocks away. So you're trying to actually find it first, then get your locate guys to locate whether there's gas or any other things in the ground. So who knows where the heck they are? They could be in Emporia. We've had a guy in Emporia and had to wait till 3 hours for him to show up to locate gas.
Oh shit.
And it's kind of crazy. So you'll have you'll have ideal situations and bad ones. So
right. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, kind of beating this weather thing into the ground, but it's the biggest thing that's been going on for a while, and it still is in some places, so that's why I'm kind of talking about it a little bit. But
sure.
And plus, like, we're even starting to see some minor effects of like the gas and electric going crazy, and I've heard a couple people further out than like my area, but still locally here in Kansas, that are saying that it jumped crazy high, like from literally from, like, I think they were saying like $3 to $100, and it's
yeah,
quite interesting how they're jumping the electric and gas that high, knowing that it's basically a price gouge. So I
Yep.
don't understand how they can do it, and I don't see how they're getting away with it. And what the hell? How are they doing?
Dude,
Why is this happening like that?
I've got some friends in the oil business, and down south, and I think here the oil the well heads are frozen shut. They can't even access some of the oil that's there from the
Right.
wellhead, because they got to work on them and thaw them out, and be doing that without breaking stuff. So
Yeah.
that's that shows how fragile this that's how fragile they really are. They should open up a lot of eyes, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the like yeah, definitely. I would think it kind of brings me you saying that kind of brings me around to like a question I guess for myself and everybody like what'd you take away from this? What do you have like a list of like oh shit man I really screwed up here I needed this I needed that I should have had this what takeaways did you get from this crazy cold weather like I have a small list that I've started of, things that my wife and I have, talked about things I didn't want to have to do, but now I absolutely am going to have to work on it because if we get any more weather like this ever in the next few years, I don't want to have these issues again. I want to make sure I put in the work and the time now to get it to where, I don't have to dick with it next time around and it's a lot more comfortable instead of such a pain.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree. So we have fortunately been spared from any disaster. Thank God. Uh, so that I'm still taken away from other people's experiences and what they've gone through because it could be worse next year. It could be, we could have something else go wrong. Another cold front could roll through, and compound on what's already cold.
Right.
So, it just adds to the frost layer, the frozen ground. So, yeah, everybody's little tips and tricks, and just taking what you could use and leaving the rest that may not affect you. Like I have a basement, and that stays pretty warm.
Right.
Um, and I already have installed a shutoff valve. It's a gate valve, or not gate valve, sorry, butterfly valve to the water line directly into my stem wall at the bottom of the basement.
Hmm. Okay.
So locating your meter outside and installing if you can a shut off right inside your house where you can access it if you can access it. Um, you know, make those preparations while
Yeah.
you can. Make them while you can.
Instead of waking up
Uh,
going, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? Run around kind
so
of like, oh,
so
what
I
do
want to
that?
do a little bit of forward thinking and kind of look ahead a couple months. When the weather starts to change and our bodies are starting to say, "Hey, summertime's coming,
Right.
springtime's." Um, your immune system, mine, I can almost set like a calendar date to when I'm gonna get sick because of my body's my I'm acclimating to the weather again, and it's like twice a year, once in the fall and once in the springtime. I usually get sick because the weather's changing, and back when I was a lot younger, a young lad, um, I was probably only sick once a year, and I could count on that being in the wintertime. But now it's it's about twice a year. But so start boosting your immune system now while
Right.
things are starting to shift a little bit. So that was I was kind of having a conversation like that with a buddy of mine at work today. So
Yeah, try to get your immunes up, and yeah, definitely try to keep your immunes up while it's nice out, and or not nice, but before the weather starts, doing its swings and everything that typically does, again, people sick and everything like that. So yeah, that's a definitely a good point there.
yeah, and dude, I don't know about you, but this weather is causing me to eat terrible, man.
Oh
I've been
yeah,
I've been eating junk food like crazy. I can feel how nasty. Like yesterday was snack day at work. Everybody was sending off a person who worked there for a long time, and it was just finger food, just the
Right.
most horrible food you could ever eat. And so I'm just pounding it down. Who cares? And then today I feel like a turd.
I hear you there, man, but I just keep saying, I keep trying to make myself feel better by saying I'm bulking up. I'm bulking up. I'm gonna start really
Winter.
lifting weights a lot or something, and so I'm
That's
putting
right.
on all this extra weight so I can transform it into all this muscle mass that I'm not actually gonna be gaining no more, especially at my age. I think the bulking up is it's a good way to say I'm eating
Yeah.
like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your winter coat, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll need it.
Yeah, and
They'll need
someday I'm gonna figure out how to hibernate all winter, so then I can, eat like this, and then be able to technically hibernate all winter. And my wife and me, neither one like waking up much when it's this cold out, so we just need to figure out how we can cheat our way through winter and only get up in the nice seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I fear when I get that truck running, I get lazy again because since what was it? I think October when all of our vehicles took a crap.
Yeah,
I had been riding my bike to work every day, and I started to get to the point where I'd get to work and I wasn't tired, wasn't winded, nothing. Just everybody like, hey, Lance Armstrong, get ready for a bike ride, whatever. Shut up.
yeah. Hey,
But
there's nothing wrong with that, anyways. That's probably something a lot of people should practice, anyways, is doing something like that. Because just like your situation, if you did end up to where, you don't have a vehicle to get you there, you still got to get there. You got to work. So, probably not a bad idea. I don't know how many miles you were going. I wouldn't really be looking forward to it at all by any means because it's several miles before I get to a paved road, anyways. And then 18 miles to town past there. So, and
so
then
basically,
another,
you head to work at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll get there by clock in time, and
yeah, because it's 18 miles to town, and then we're 7 miles past town. So it's a pretty good jag to ride a bicycle. The more I'm saying it now, the more I'm like, yeah, the hell with that. I ain't doing that.
yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on that truck. All I got to do, see, the distributor is turned 180 degrees. I narrowed it down to the distributor having it failing, and I replaced it. When I put it back in, it backfired like a beast. So I was like out of the carburetor. Shit, I got it wrong. So I need to get that turned around and get things plugged in. So tomorrow I'll be playing mechanic tomorrow. But
Yeah. Pick her up, spin her around.
I love doing that stuff. And the forge, man. I'm still looking for parts and pieces, and I'm gonna design my own fire pot for the forge. I'm gonna use probably gonna use a brake drum. I saw a really good. I'm using a brake drum for that, and I've got a section of railroad that I've got it bolted to a log that I'm going to use as my first anvil. But the more I got to thinking about it, I live in kind of a closed-in neighborhood, right? And the sound of a hammer hitting steel is going to piss people off around here.
Yeah, it most definitely will.
So it should be interesting. Should be fun. They know I'm kind of a weirdo anyway.
So they won't think nothing about it then. There you go. They'll just be like, oh, he's at it again. And don't worry about it. Just keep moving on about your day. As long as you ain't doing it at like, 10, 11 o'clock at night, then it probably it shouldn't be a problem with it, I wouldn't think. But 10, 11 o'clock at night, then, you might get some people a little bit grumpy then at that point.
Yeah, I'll probably have to skip forging days. So, we got some goals. Wife and I were talking. We really, our next goal is to get some land nearby and start building from the ground up.
Oh,
I think that'll be great. So
you guys go on
we've been
off
blessed.
grid style or?
I think we're gonna be our own general contractors, and she's got the mental capacity for that aspect of a project. Me, I'm boots on the ground. You give me a hammer and some nails and some boards and a saw, and I'll make what you want.
Yeah.
So she'll be the manager, the general contractor, and then do all the paperwork and all the stupid permits, and please let me build something for my type of stuff.
Yeah.
And all that scheduling, and I know a lot of professionals here in town that it's good to live in a small town because you get to know and be friends with the people that build the homes around here. So it's
Right.
we're blessed, man. We're really blessed.
Good deal. Good deal.
I'm sure you know all the regulations before you invest in the property.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's a good point. My wife said make sure you know all the regulations before you invest in the property because basically everything you want to do is regulated to an
Yeah.
extent.
So I heard so I'm subscribed to Full Spectrum Survival. I don't mean to plug another channel or anything, but
You're good. Yeah.
Brad and his wife had talked about what they did to get their land, and I thought that was a brilliant and very awesome way to do it. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but they basically just went to the landowners and asked them to basically bypass a lot of the cut through all that red tape and go around the system, get their own lawyer, draw up, this their I don't know what it was. I'd have to rewatch the video, but that's kind of something I want to do because there's acres and acres for sale around this place. Like there's like 90 acres or this. I was like, hey, go up to the people who's selling it and ask if they can piece off a section of that and you give them straight up. And I don't know exactly how it works. I need to do that research and figure that out. But it's like will give you so much money for this much if you're willing to. And what's the worst that could happen? They just say no, and you keep looking.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're gonna do. And yeah.
Hey, that sounds like a pretty good plan there, actually. And get you a little chunk of land, start building on it. I think that's a hell of a good idea. And get you, you're gonna have a big enough area where you can plant you a nice garden and stuff like that. I'm assuming. And
Yeah, and we actually want to start composting, and doing a lot of composting.
Righto. My wife was just talking to me about that today. She was cleaning out the underneath the rabbit hutches, and she's like, "Hey, we need to start doing a composting pile." And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, why
How'd
not?
that soupy stuff turn out on top of those hay bales?
We won't know until we start planting in it a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit too cold for that particular greenhouse. Now, when we get our in the ground greenhouse that you're supposed to be able to grow in all year round, then we'd be able to give you a better answer. But yeah, the old poop soup, we got to wait a few more months to check that out and see how that's going to turn out. I'm hoping, especially with all the snow and everything that we've gotten, it's kind of helped really work that into them bells a little bit better. So
okay, so those bales are going to turn into the dirt that's going to be on the ground in place. So you're not going to transport them, or you're going to let them break down right where they are and turn that spot into the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Great idea, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
We will put a little bit of soil on the top, just so the plant could actually, get a root set in, I guess you'd say. But the bell is actually going to be the actual, soil or whatever.
Cool.
So that's hopefully, anyways, we'll see how it goes. It's Yeah, it's seasoning your bells like you do a steak, except for these look disgusting when you're doing it, and steak look good. So, green thumb prepper. Yeah, yeah, it'll be. Yeah, well, we'll see how it works out. It's all just kind of a test trial run thing. We have some books on like straw bale gardening, and then like making this stuff here was just another thing to add to that, and just to try it plus the bells when they're breaking down produce heat anyways, and
Sure.
the manure and everything helps produce heat, and then everything in there, basically everything in there is in theory the way we're setting it up is to try to produce its own heat so we can plant sooner and let it go longer in the year and just have basically dirt in there without having to build like raised beds or anything like that to stick inside the trailer type of a thing. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And plus then it's our mobile greenhouse if we had to move it. If it gets too hot over there, we can move it into the shade or whatever. Or if it got bad enough we got a bug out and we still could take a vehicle, maybe I'll hook onto the greenhouse and drag it along or whatever. And
That's a great idea, man. Mobile greenhouse.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, I can kick everything out of there and still haul livestock around in it too. So
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see here. Whoa.
How's that chat? Is it alive? Are people?
Yeah, it's going. I'm not sure. I must have missed something because Nate's talking about Sean going commando. So I'm not sure what I missed there. Just kind of caught that part. So I must have missed a couple chats back before there. Yeah, it's hard for me to read these honestly, and plus talk. So I miss a lot on the chats, and I feel bad. But I'm pretty sure everybody by now is used to me ignoring them, and at some point, I'll have somebody that's going to help me read these and talk my wife into it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I think it's about time for me to set up a laptop beside me. So I'm afraid to touch my wife's right here. She's got her homework on there. And
you'll be fine.
She's going through her master class, and I'm not touching this thing because I don't want to mess anything up for her.
No, you'll be all right, man. Just go ahead and try it, and then just let us know what happens in a video later on.
I'll have a black eye, and I look like a whoop puppy dog.
There you go. There you
go.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So has he already got a composting setup started at all?
Yeah, my wife's asking if you have a composting setup started at all yet, or is that just something you're waiting to do when you guys move to the other?
Those are visions of grandeur, my friend. I want that, but it's going to be a future thing. But okay. I will take any advice that I can get from you, or trial and error.
Yeah, a lot of it that we've done even years ago is still trial and error to us because some years it seems like something works really good, and other years it's like we couldn't get the easiest plant in the world to grow and they just died. It's like, what the hell? But
yeah,
seems like we're actually doing, like last year was the best year we've ever had, but it seems like we're getting a little better, I guess. So yeah, we'll be more than happy to give you some advice that'll either help you or hurt you. And if it hurts you, then just pretend like you heard it somewhere else. And if it helps, then you can talk about it.
Hold on. Oh. Thought someone was here. I was having company.
Okay.
But what else? What else did I say? I had some other random thoughts come to mind.
All right, Prepper Tribe, man, have a good one. Appreciate you being over here. Yeah, he's going to set up. He's on next. Everybody's going to be going over there after this, and we'll see how that's going over there. He said, I'm on the big screen, so I can't run on the big screen with him tonight. I'm at home, so I get to run on the little baby screen. The only time I ever get to watch him on the big screen or anybody is at work. So
Yeah, his morning vibes are pretty awesome.
yeah,
While he's doing the morning vibes, I am still waking up, waiting for the coffee to brew, and then preparing the sandwiches for all the kids, their lunches.
nice.
Every day I do the lunch. Every day Prepper Tribe's talking, and it's kind of like it kind of helps me out through the morning a little bit because I'm not the morning person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice for me because I'm already at work, and so it's about like when I'm first starting to take break time, and I can kick on a TV and check it out and everything, and gets
Yeah,
everybody a little bit of a laugh in the morning. So
yeah, yeah.
it's good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. Because
Yep.
I was usually in the mornings just kind of just thumbing through a lot of random stuff and just trying to just look at stuff I'd missed the night before and everything. And then he started doing the morning show, so I started watching that a little bit more regular and
Mm-hmm.
kind of led into it. Jay, please let Heartland know. Oh, help him with compost. Oh, there we go. There you go. That one's for you there, boss. From the Green Thumb Prepper.
All right. When that day comes, I will be contacting the Green Thumb because I am far from a Green Thumb. Actually, the most successful thing that I've grown was jalapenos, and I had basically given up on the crop. This was up in Washington. I had a raised bed, and everything else had died. Cucumbers and tomatoes and my zucchini. I had one weird long big one, but the rest of they were cooked basically. Uh,
Uh,
so I just gave up. I put water in it, and I kept an eye on those because some of them stayed green out there, and it was the jalapenos. They basically starved them of water, and every once in a while we'd get a sprinkle of rain and whatever. But those were the hottest. I am kid you not, the hottest jalapenos I've had in my entire life.
I'll be damned.
And it's like the starving them of water, but giving them a little bit just to stay alive
Yeah.
intensified the heat in them. Maybe,
That's interesting.
maybe.
Very interesting. Yeah, one thing that we did this year a little bit different was used a lot of prairie grass and straw, real heavy around all of our plants, and you didn't have to water as much. It didn't seem like, and oh, I can't remember the lady's name. That she basically that's all she used was either prairie grass or straw, and just built these tall beds. And then as you kept doing it, it just decay and decay and decay, and the ground will get real nice underneath it. And a lot of people were saying, "Man, you're gonna have grass growing in there like crazy," which you did because it's prairie grass that you're just tearing off a round bill and throwing in there. You did, but you just kind of go through there and massage it. Just barely massage it up, and you don't have to pull weeds because it's just all grassy and everything. But yeah, you just barely grab it like that and kind of massage it down, and it pull the grass out of there. And yeah, just in a couple of years, the soil underneath there is already way softer and nicer than it ever was. Because that was horrible, bad, hard dirt over there where we started at.
That's awesome. Yep, those are plans for the future for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like my wife said, it really helps house the beneficial worms and insects and stuff like that too. The worms really love underneath all that straw and hay. They love that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think once we get out of this place, we can spread out a little bit. Start getting after that type of gardening and getting our hands dirty that way. But we live in a rental, so this house is you can only do so much. You know what I mean. There's
Yeah.
just nothing we can do about it.
Right. Yeah.
But-
Well, and then once you get into your own place, then yeah, you can start running you a nice garden and trying to mend the soil real good and all that fun stuff. And then you're gonna end up like me and realizing you're old because you're in a hurry for growing season. You're like, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to get my seeds in the ground, and it's like, holy cow, I never ever thought I'd be excited to be sitting out there watching plants grow. And I'm just sitting out there, watering, trying to watch and, digging through stuff with the wife. And it's pretty interesting, though.
No.
I'm super glad I got her, though, to do most of the work for me. While I'm at work, she does most of the work. So I get to come home and just reap most of the benefits. So that's pretty nice.
You've got a good teammate.
Yes, I do.
Yep. That's important.
Yes, I do. I can't complain most of the time, but I still do. It's good for her, though. Builds character. So a rumor I always hear it's co-op.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So what all, kind of getting back to electricity and stuff like that, do you have any backups for electricity or like gas or anything like that if it does ever get too crazy high? And now knowing that you're in a rental, I know that might be a little bit more difficult, but
we can head on over to our folks' house, pack up our stuff, head over there. They have a generator. We went out and got them like 4 or 5 gallon gas cans, had it all stocked up, ready to go before winter hit. So we made sure things were buttoned up, and we had a little bit there. That way we could, and the place is a lot bigger. So if we had to, we could just wrap it up here and head over there. And
right.
We've done a few things. We have the candles. We've got tons of sleeping bags. Yeah, we could set a tent up in our living room. We could have fun with it if we wanted to, but we really haven't worried about it too much.
Yeah. And that's actually
sorry, go ahead.
You saying setting a tent up in the front room or whatever, and have some fun with it. That's actually really funny because with the grandbabies over here, we've set the tent up in the front room, and and her little lantern and everything, and she thinks she's really, camping and stuff, and it's great because it is fun. But yeah, it's also an interesting way to know that you could, truly do something like that if you had to. Is just pitch tents in your house, and if it's terribly, terribly cold out and you pitch a tent in the house, man, you're keeping a lot of heat in right there. Just
yeah. Yep, you're keeping that air from moving around, and creating a barrier. So I was thinking, hey, if it gets real bad, we can start putting extra, bed sheets in the northern window of the house.
Yeah.
To kind of add another layer of air that won't move between that curtain and the window. So stuff like that. We've got a sleeping bag hanging in the entryway from the kitchen to our laundry room because the insulation for the laundry room floor, I don't know if cats took it or mice took it. I don't know what happened. I need to get up under there and figure out why my feet turn into icicles when I walk into that area. So I've got since I've hung that sleeping bag just with some thumbtacks, whatever. I had a meat thermometer just kind of chilling on the counter while I was doing some cooking, and I was looking at it. It says 68 in the kitchen, and I just stuck it back behind that sleeping bag and watched it drop to like 42.
Oh damn!
Back there, I was like, isn't that good? I watched back there.
Yeah, we got a couple rooms that we pretty much keep the doors closed on all the time because it's just me and my wife now. So yeah, a couple of rooms just have the doors closed all the time, and man, you can really tell. You crack that door open, and it's like you open a freezer door, and it's like whoosh, just hits you. It's like holy shit, man! Just from having the door shut. So yeah, I can see, it really brings the perspective, like if you did have to close off the house a little bit here and there, just putting up something. Really traps in a lot of heat. So, and the way my wife has to be, and man, I got to trap a lot of heat if we ever have no wood burner, you know. It'd be 80 degrees in the house. I'm sitting here in a pair of shorts and still trying to fan myself. And she's got thick socks on, long johns, sweatpants, the comfy thing, then a cover and all this other crap. You know, I'd given her a hard time the other day while I was on here with somebody, you know, because it's just funny how much clothing she has on. And I'm literally in a pair of shorts over there just wiping sweat like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other night, we got hardwood floors, and I even got to the point where I was like, "The hell with this!" I just laid down on the floor for a while, and you know, just to get the coolness off the floor onto my back and everything. And then I was like, "Man, I'm hopping in the shower. I'm taking another shower, a cold shower, no less. Middle of winter, I'm gonna just kick on the cold water and take a shower so I can cool off a little bit."
Yeah, go step out on the front porch.
Yeah, and then it's the complete opposite during summer. You know, she can make it all summer without an air conditioner in the house, and you know, I'm fat, so you know, I get 80 degrees and I start sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60 degrees.
Another thing I'm looking forward to when the temperature starts to rise, man. I much prefer the cold. I do.
Yeah.
I prefer the cold rather than the heat.
Yeah, I don't prefer minus 45, but you know, a decent cold, like you know, in between 35 and 40, I like, because then at least you're not busting ice all the time for animals.
True.
Yeah, I get that. I understand.
Yeah, and
My worst problem is having to bust the ice off my beard after crawling out of the creek.
yeah, that too. So yeah, having the short beard has been kind of nice because you know it's not been quite as much ice everywhere. But yeah, I remember when, like, even going in after being out in the snow and stuff, and I'd sit down in a warm room and it'd start melting, and all this just cold water would be running down in my shirt. I'm like, oh wow. Start combing it out, and get it all brushed out, because like, I don't know, that's probably a couple months before I made the first YouTube video. You know, my beard was like down in here, like you can't see it, but like down in here, and I trimmed it way up, and
yeah, you were competing with Bear, weren't you?
yeah, yeah, and well, and another reason why I kind of trimmed her down some was I have a real good buddy of mine. He has like a real long, like ZZ Top style beard, and he's a plumber, and he was running a drill doing something. He always takes it and, you know, tucks it in his shirt to keep it held back. Well, part of it got out of there while he was running a drill, and that drill just sucked right up to his chin, and yeah, he had a spot like yay big that was just all raw and red where he had to get that out of there. And I was like, oh shoot, man, I bet that hurt like hell, because man, you running a drill full speed, catch up in that beard hair and just suck right up to your chin. I'm sure that sucker, oh man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No thanks. No, thank you.
Yep. It's beards are great for some things, but for others they're just not so great. But yeah, I am starting to miss mine, but I probably won't grow it back until start of next year. I mean, I'm growing a little bit back, but I'll probably keep it about like this till the beginning of next year, and then kind of start growing it out again.
Yeah. So the last water leak I was on, we had it was just a cluster of a 4-inch main, 45, and then straight for 2 feet, 45 back into an 8-inch, and then went up at an angle towards the surface into a T. It was an 8-inch T that pointed down to another line that ran east and west, and in the fitting where this 8-inch line was going into, only about an inch and a half of pipe was actually in the fitting, so it had been leaking really low until it finally pushed hard enough to actually cause leak. Come on in, baby. We're starting to get some clicks. You hear that?
Yeah, it's starting to get kind of broken up here.
Fine, babe. No, you're fine. I know what you're here for. So we got that all wrapped up, and so what I've started to do after repairing the water is we start opening the valves to flush whatever debris may have gone in there. We usually keep a positive pressure in the line, so it keeps stuff from falling in and going into the system. So
Right.
we keep one valve cracked, so water's constantly flowing out as we're working. So it's pushing debris and stuff out. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll go upstream or basically direct the flow where we want, and open a fire hydrant wide open, and start opening valves to push anything that might have been in there, because when you start exercising valves, it breaks loose stuff in the main or at the valve. It's been sitting there open for however many years.
Right.
So stuff gets broken loose, and the water will be kind of a dingy color for a little bit. But we let it run, open everything up, and watch the open trench. Look at the main while it's sitting there. No leaks. Okay, backfill. And the last person to go shut the fire hydrant off when we're all done usually is me, and I'll drink out of it before. That's been something I've started doing within the last three years. What do you got, babe? Okay. I'll go and drink out of the fire hydrant after the mains, and I don't care the temperature. I don't care anything. I don't care. That's my thing. I drink out of the fire hydrant after I fix the main. The signature thing that I do.
Yeah, there you go. You know,
And I tell you what, 3 days ago, that was really cold water, bro.
yeah, I could just imagine, man. I do not envy your job on that type of during that type of weather at all. You know, summer it'd be all right, but yeah, wintertime, no. Especially
We had a little salamander heater blowing across the top of the trench. So during the wintertime, we fight to get in the trench, but during the summer, it's someone else going there. It's too hot.
Yeah, because even if you got water on you, it just turns miserable then.
Yeah, I can drink a gallon of water a day and then not keep up. I will still be dehydrated.
Dang.
You're supposed to drink your body weight in ounces of water. In the summertime, I double it, and I still feel a headache. I still feel my lower back hurts.
Half your body weight in ounces.
Oh,
Half your body weight in ounces. Thank you, love.
You're welcome.
Yeah, get it right, man. Yeah, see, I was trying to do that with beer until prepping outside the boxes challenge you threw out there. So yeah, I can't do that no more though. But yeah, I was trying to do that with beer, but I don't know that it's that healthy for you. But there's surely some kind of benefit to it, I think.
Maybe red wine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Half my body weight in red wine. There we go.
Actually, just thinking about that gives me a headache.
Yeah, I don't think I've drinking wine in a long time, like 20 plus years, like when we got married, I think. I don't even know if that's wine or is it wine or champagne we had at the wedding. Yeah, she said, ooh, so it must have been champagne. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She said, oh, yeah, it was champagne. Okay, so I don't remember when I've had wine.
Yep.
Supposed to be good for you, I guess, but ooh.
It improves heart health and circulation.
It does not. I'd tell you that, too, if I wanted to sell you something. She says it improves heart health and circulation.
Honey?
Yes.
The consensus? Yep. She says yes.
She says yes.
Ta-da.
Well, I think Coors Light does, too. My doctor.
Not quite from the mountains.
Yeah, Coors Light definitely should. That's mountain water. That's probably the cleanest water you could get, right?
What water?
What's that?
Say again. Sorry.
I said Coors Light. That's mountain water. That's probably the cleanest, purest water you could get. So it's surely got to be healthy.
Only if the mountains on the can are blue.
Yeah. Well, we've only got a few more minutes left. Is there anybody you want to plug in? Anybody you want to shout out or anything like that? Kind of.
I have nobody to plug, but I have everybody to thank for showing their support. I think I'm getting up there, and I like the comments everybody leaves. It's growing, and I love the support. I love everybody out there. It's a very good community that we have growing.
Yeah, it is. It's
I'm amazed. I'm amazed every day by it.
Oh yeah. It's crazy to see how much all these people help each other out constantly, and doing stuff like that. I've said it a few other times, but yeah, it is truly crazy to see it off of what we're doing, just kind of goofing off and talking about stuff that we all have an actual interest in and stuff like that. So
come here, say hi. Huh? Okay, all right. All right.
We'll get on the camera or what?
We'll get all the wives together on here someday.
Yeah, I just started filming mine one day, and I figured, if she knew I was filming, she wouldn't yell at me. So, because I was like, I'm going to post it. It'd be nice, but I'm posting it anyways.
Yeah. All right. What are we sitting at? 56?
56, yeah. Yep. So we're getting pretty close. I appreciate everybody coming over. Everybody head over to Tribes right after this. Prepper. Oops, sorry. Go ahead and sign up the chat for a minute. Everybody head over to Prepper Tribe after this, and we'll see you over there. Appreciate y'all stopping by.
Yep.
And y'all stay safe. Have a good night, and we'll holler at you later.
Yep. Have a good night, folks.